Hello, everyone. Welcome back. If you are joining us on replay, I am not set up at all. I'm too excited. I'm so eager to get in tonight's message. So tonight we are talking about the full moon in Virgo as well as the Saturn moving into Pisces a bit tonight. We're going to be doing a group reading, but I'm also going to be doing a candle meditation for you all. Not a meditation as much as an intention, I should say. And just talk to you about some things you can do tonight for the full moon. I'm a little tall. No, I'm not tall enough. Sorry, I did not set this up before I started. Hey, Adrian. Hey, Karen. So for those watching replay, if you want to catch me next time, you can always look at my events page and it'll tell you what date is going to be next. Upcoming days, we have our psychic development practice night 1 week from today. So that is going to be March 14th. Please join us. We do a live practice nights. So we get into excuse me, video chat style where I send you all into breakout groups and you can read each other kind of through some prompts that I give you, and it basically gives everyone a chance to actually practice their psychic skills. So if you want to learn more about that, you can see it on my events page. It's also on my blog. I think I've uploaded a video here on it. You can always shoot me a message, but Psychic Development Practice Night is 1 week from tonight on the 14th. And then we have our member-only live night on the 28th. And then the next time I will be live here just for everyone on YouTube, like publicly, that'll be April 4th. So those are some upcoming days that we got coming. And yeah, just remember to join on Patreon if you are wanting more content from me. You're going to get early access to videos. You have Q&A videos that I put out every month that you're going to get access to. We also have the Psychic Development Practice Nights, the member live nights as well. I basically do this all through Patreon, which is where you set up your membership with me. And then what else do you get? Oh, you also get monthly pick a card readings about the month ahead. So I just put up a pick a card reading on the month of March, and it was intense. And I think it was very helpful to see what was coming before it came or before it comes. So you can still watch that right now if you join on Patreon. And again, if you join, you're going to get access to all those other perks depending on the tier that you choose. So more live nights over there if you are wanting to see more from me. But yeah, if you are new here, feel free to subscribe. I'm going to set my... No, I'm not going to set my member timer right now because I have too much I want to do before I actually do that. So I'm going to put it up here on my phone so I know. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's so fun. Please join, guys. Yeah, seriously, we had a lot of fun last month. Last month was our first month, so we were kind of working out the kinks, but I think it was super exciting. And I think we're going to have a really fun time next week. Hey, Lori. Hello, Butterfly Totem. When is daylight savings beginning for us? I wish I was smart enough to answer that question. Is it this week already? No. Anyways, happy full moon. You got your crystals out. Yes, I'm going to talk a little bit about that and some of the things that you guys can do for that. Quick announcement. I am going to be going to Salem. My trip is booked. Salem, Massachusetts. If you're in the area, shoot me a message. I'm going to be there September 20th through the 22nd-ish. And I'm just going to see if anyone following me that's local to that area wants to meet up, maybe go do a ghost tour or something. We could all do that together. So if you're in the area, or if you're not and you want to have an excuse to go out there and have a trip, let me know. We'll all kind of coordinate and meet up. Just shoot me a message somewhere so I know to keep you all in the loop, because I know not everyone is coming, obviously. So I don't want to bombard everyone with all these updates. So yeah, that was the only announcement that I have. Well, technically this is exciting to me, maybe not exciting to you all, but I finally finished all the extra little videos for my newest course, and I'm editing it finally, and I've got it all planned out. It should be done in a month and a half if I stick to my editing plan. So super stoked about that. Anyways, March 12th. What? I didn't realize it was so soon. I have no concept of like when that changes over. I'm really good now with like the Sabbats because we've got spring equinox coming up soon. So very excited for that. Okay, let's talk about the theme of tonight. If you are into astrology, which I've just been obsessed with astrology, I apologize. I know it's not related to psychic development, but I'm just obsessed. I even got my new deck tonight that I'm using, the Arcana of Astrology. And I showed this in the Member Live night. Was that already last week? Yeah. And I kind of talked about what the deck looked like if you want to see that. But tonight is two huge things happening. One, we have a full moon in Virgo. Full moons are just big. They're a lot of like chaotic energy. Like, let me know if you've been feeling it today. If you've been feeling the chaos of the full moon. If you watched my recent moon video, you might kind of understand now that full moons, you might have a little bit more of like intense energy and emotions. There might be like more conflict going on. It's also a time of like when you start to see your intentions that you set at the new moon, you start to see them manifest, or maybe not. Maybe you start to realize, okay, these are not like manifesting at all. I need to go back to the drawing board. So yeah, tonight is the full moon. It's in Virgo, and we'll just start there. But basically, the full moon in Virgo, I'm a Virgo rising. I'm pretty familiar with Virgo. Virgo is all about like routines and plans and being very analytical, being self-critical. But it's a lot also about like health and your like day-to-day routines. So tonight, or like, a couple days even into this week, if you need to like extend it, it's a really good time to focus on your routines and focus on your health and where you would like to better any of that, or maybe release things that are getting in your way of like feeling like you can set good routines, good habits, good like healthy habits. So you can kind of just keep that in the back of your mind as you're like doing any sort of journaling tonight, full moon intentions, if you're doing like a meditation. Ultimately tonight is all about like thinking about that Virgo part of you. It's the routines, it's the health, and it's like, how can I better my body, my mental health, my physical health, my emotional health. So it's just like you can work on other things at the same time, but if you just happen to have some things you want to fix in that arena, it's just going to be an extra good time to do so. So I'm gonna do that tonight. So I've got my little bottle here. And I've already got it labeled Virgo full moon release, because the full moons are all about releasing. So what you can do, it doesn't have to be like a fancy cute bottle, but you can just get a glass, and you want to get a clear glass and fill it with water and then put it out in the moonlight. I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to put some smoky quartz next to it just to focus on releasing negative energy. And I'm basically setting the intention here that this water, I can use it in the future to release negative energy, and just get rid of any sort of negative energy. So that's one like full moon ritual you can do tonight. Again, I have a candle, but that candle is more going to be about this Saturn and Pisces. And that's mostly what we're going to talk about tonight. So let me get into that next. The bunny is in tonight. Welcome. Should have taken your advice from your pendulum. It was cold and no sales at my art show. Oh no! How would you use the water afterwards to release? Yes. So you could use it in rituals, like, and when I say that, like a lot of like witches, I guess, like use the water in other senses of the word to like put it into a spell or something to use it. But at a very basic level, you could use it to paint. So like a lot of people use it with like watercolors. You can literally use it in drinks, like, and you want to drink something with the intention of like, oh, I'm going to set this intention that this water has this property, this meaning, and then I'll drink it. You can also bathe in it. Like you can put it in your bath water. There's so many ways you can use it. Like if you search like full moon water uses, I feel like there's so many that I'm just like not even thinking of. Like some people just like literally put it on like their hands, wash their hands with it. If anyone else is remembering other ways, like feel free to throw it in the comments. I can't remember all the ways, but usually what I do with it is I either take like a bath with it, or like I cleanse things with it. So I could cleanse my crystals with it. Pours water over it. I know I'm not like describing it the best. Um but you can, like, it's really like it's more about, it's the intention behind it, because yeah, if you just throw it on your head and you're just like, all right, it might not work. It's all about the belief that you put into it. So I actually have like some solar return oil that I made, like birthday oil, and I put it out in the sun for my birthday, so I have like the energy of my birthday kind of infused into an oil, and I can use that oil for putting it around a candle or putting it on my hands, or cleansing something with it, just like as another example. So you can mop your floors with it. Yes, yeah, that's another great way of, like, you can also like put it around, depending on what it's for. Like if you have like water that's made to release, you could just like put it in front of your home and kind of sprinkle it around the front of your house or your doorstep, and kind of like say, no negative energy is welcome here. You can use it kind of as a protective measure. Clean surfaces with it. Scotch and moon water, heck yes. I do think I have a really old short, like a YouTube short, that talks about how you can use moon water. And Gem Goddess actually did a really interesting video on moon water, where she fills like up a jug and she sets it with a bunch of intentions, puts it out in the moon, and then she drinks like a glass of it. Or no, not a glass, like a sip of it every day. So there's lots of stuff that you can do with moon water. But anyways, getting back to Saturn and Pisces. So I'm very interested because I've been into astrology probably for the last year. It's not long enough to really see the history of things that have happened behind me. However, I don't know about you guys. Did you have crazy bonker dreams last night? I did. Like crazy, crazy dreams last night. And so Saturn, trying to make this short because I know that not everyone cares, but I'm really interested in it. And I hope that for those of you who are as well, you guys kind of get something out of this. But Saturn, basically, it sits in a zodiac sign for about 2 to 3 years. So Saturn has currently been sitting in Aquarius since the beginning of 2020. So if you can kind of think of the last like 2 or 3 years, like what that energy has felt like, you kind of like know what I'm talking about here. Not been the funnest. Like, at least on my end, I just feel like it's been a very rough 3 years. Now, I will say that Saturn in Aquarius was also during, like, my Saturn is in Aquarius, like when I was born. So that means that when it came back around to Saturn in Aquarius, it's called your Saturn return. And that happens once every 30 years. So technically, I probably had it a little bit rougher than most these last 3 years. If anyone has Saturn in Aquarius, these last 3 years were probably extra hard on you. However, if you have Saturn in Pisces, the next 3 years might be a little bit more rough because it's going to be your Saturn return. And your Saturn return, again, happens every like 30-ish years. So you have one around 30 years old, 60, like 58, that range. And then if you're lucky enough, like you might have another one when you're close to 90 years old. Okay. Thank you, Amanda. Yes. I will make sure that you're first when I get there. I'll try to get through my long-winded talk. I'm just so excited about this. I've watched so many videos about the Saturn return and what this energy could be like. And I will try to remember to throw some links in the comments down below if anyone wants to see it, of like people that really go in depth on this. But essentially, wherever Saturn is kind of like the teacher. He's the father of the zodiac. He comes in to teach really hard lessons. So Saturn is not always like the fun guy of the zodiac. So when he's coming into a sign for you that's rough, or it's like your return or something, and there's even more complexities to that, but he often brings really hard lessons. And so that's why Saturn returns are like often super synonymous with like marriage divorces or getting married or quitting jobs, like really changing like career paths, having like a midlife crisis in a lot of ways. Um, so what else do I want to say about Saturn and Pisces? Basically, Saturn tonight is moving into Pisces and it's going to be there till 2026. And so that means Saturn's energy is going to look a little bit different. We're going to have it be a more Piscean energy versus an Aquarian energy, which is where we've been. And I won't get too much into detail with this. Just know there's a ton of videos out there. But just know that we're going to have a lot of hard lessons in Pisces. And Pisces is all about spirituality. It's all about death. It's all about kind of where we go when we die. It's about things not tangible. It's about things being structureless, dreamlike. Pisces are very like, again, dreamy. It can be manipulative. It can be very like escapism. It also deals with like addictions. So like we're going to get some hard lessons around all of those things in our life. A lot of astrologers are saying it might be like a crisis of faith for a lot of people, where a lot of people move into a different like belief system. You could get really strict around like alcohol. Like a lot of people are guessing that we might have more restrictions around that, or not restrictions as much as like what's the word I'm looking for? It's kind of like more people supporting like having a sober lifestyle, if that makes sense. So trying to like heal and teach good lessons around Pisces stuff. So I'm not going to go into it any further because I'm not doing a good job of describing it. However, Chloe Taylor has a bunch of videos on it. She's kind of like my resource out there. And then I've watched a few other astrologers out there talk about this. So I will link it in the comments down below. But yeah, the next 3 years, I think we're going to see a shift of energy. I feel like we have very much seen what has happened when Saturn is in Aquarius. It's about global events. It's about people. It's about health. It's about how we deal with like everyone around us. Also like social media and technology. So like, I feel like I don't even have to explain that. The last 2-3 years, you probably like, oh yeah, I see that. So the group reading I have for us tonight, I just wanted to ask as a collective, because we can all look at our individual signs and know how this is going to affect us. But here with this, I just want to ask for the people here tonight, those that are watching now or rewatching, how is this energy going to affect us like as a group? And I'm just like dying to flip over these cards because I haven't looked at them yet. So first card I pulled was how is it going to affect us? And I got the partnership card. Teamwork will give you a better result. Find trustworthy people to partner with. Build up a talented support team. That's interesting because I don't feel like partnerships. Okay. I mean, my guides are telling me it has more to do with like the individual people in this group because that's not really like a huge theme with this Saturn and Pisces thing, but I'm kind of seeing that a lot of people might break up partnerships or might form new partnerships. Like we're going to definitely be seeing a lot like different like people in our lives in the next 2 to 3 years. And I get that actually because like with Aquarius and Saturn being in Aquarius, like we had a really hard time forming new relationships. Tell me if you like agree with that. But over the last like 2 or 3 years, because wherever Saturn is, it kind of like it stagnates things. It makes things a little bit slower and it adds structure and it makes it a little bit harder. So with this partnership card coming up, I wonder if it's going to allow for new people to come into our life. I'm also hearing it's like a recognition of mostly people we know are not good for us and letting them go. So that's how this energy is going to show up for us. What was this card? I knew I was going to forget, which is why I should have wrote it down. How? What was that question? Well, the answer is make time for self-love. What was the damn question? It was something about this. It was something about what is it going to look like and then how we can deal with the energy. Here, I'm going to read the comments and maybe it'll come to me. I even was like, Lauren, write it down. Fill a glass with water right now. Yes, do it. Okay, and I won't forget about you, Amanda. The energy was like 3 steps forward and then 4 steps back. Always catching up. Oh, yes. And that's what a lot of astrologers have said about this last like Saturn in Aquarius. And I totally it's one of the things that's getting me so into it is like I see it and I'm like, yeah, gosh, that's true. Whoa, that's true. Maybe I'm just like susceptible to it all, but I'm just like, oh, wow. What's Saturn return going to look like for Scorpios? Now, I don't have a list in front of me, or do I? Are you a Scorpio rising? Because you always want to go off of your rising sign, not your sun sign. I think it actually does show it in my. This is my full moon book, or sorry, my Moonology diary, and it talks about all these major transits that are coming up. Super new Pisces. Oh, except for, it doesn't cover the Saturn one. Does it? Oh, no, it does. Actually, I can tell you. If anyone wants to know, quickly throw up your rising sign, and I'll tell you how it's specifically going to affect you. Wherever Saturn goes, lessons follow. So Scorpios, it's going to affect your 5th house. And 5th house is all about pleasure, like enjoying things. So you might have a harder time enjoying things the next couple of years. Or you might find really new things that you totally enjoy, That was the same card you pulled for me last time. Oh, really, Butterfly Totem? Maybe you need to hear it again. How can you tell if you're rising? Basically, you have to go type in your information into a astrology calculator. I think like AstroSeek is like a really good one, and it'll tell you your sun, moon, and your rising. I'm not good enough to know what it is yet, just by like listening. Okay, so Gemini, if you're a Gemini rising, it's going to affect your 10th house, which is getting a lot better at knowing these things, which I'm very proud of myself for. Astrology has a lot to know about. Your career and ambitions, how you make your mark on the world, what you're known for, reputation. So, who is that? Amanda, you might see some big career changes in the next 2 to 3 years because Saturn's coming in to really teach you some new lessons. But again, it's in Pisces, so it has like a whole nother flavor to it. Libra, it's going to be in your 6th house, which is in your 6th house of Virgo. So that's very much like your routines, your health. Sagittarius, you're the 4th house, so you're just like my husband. You're going to see a lot around your home, Lori. So like home, your like physical house, the people in it, children, relationships. That is going to be where Saturn is like really holding a focus for you over those next 2-3 years. Aquarius, it's going to be in your 2nd house of money, cash, debts, stuff like that. And Aquarius, oh wait, I just read that. Sorry. I'm going to look right now. So my team better watch out. Yeah. And like for me, it's going to be affecting my, what is it? I'm a Virgo rising, so it's going to be affecting, my 7th house, which is about my love life. And I'm like, oh no. I feel like things just got good. No. Okay, I'll hold that open in case anybody else wants to know. But yeah, we're shifting into a new energy the next like 2 or 3 years. So tonight I wanted to again light a candle for us all as a group, and we're going to just focus for a second after we're done with this group reading on the energy that we want to bring in. I chose purple because it's Pisces. Like Pisces, I associate with the color purple. And I put an oil on it that is all about balance and strength. And so I'm saying, hey, help us preserve this Piscean energy. Whatever Saturn's got to bring to it, let's like, please just like make it easy. let's have the strength and the balance to deal with whatever he's bringing our way. So yes, okay. So I still don't remember what the question was. But making time for self-love. You know, and it's interesting because this is in the last quarter moon in Libra, which is also kind of like a very partnership heavy sign. So for some reason though, this group, where you might see it really affect our personal relationships. I think that's, I think the question was like, how do we work with this energy? Yeah. Okay. And then the next cards that I have to pull are like pick a card. So really quick, ask which pile is for me, pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. I was just trying to get a little bit more specific over how this transit might affect you. Like what is this next 2-3 years going to look like for you? So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. I'm just going to ask for myself. I think I'm pile 1, maybe pile 2. Okay. Pile 1. Show the world the real you. And we have the 9th house. Oh, which one is the 9th house? Hang on. So pile number 1, I'm really feeling like you might step into a new version of yourself over the next couple of years. Whatever this is bringing to teach you, like maybe even though it's in Pisces, maybe because of it, you realize this is the true version of myself that I want to be and I want to show other people. And I feel like you might be struggling with wanting to show that real side of yourself. Oh yeah, because the 9th house is all about like philosophy. This is like the Sagittarius. I need to remember that. It's about knowledge, truth, like learning. So I feel like pile number 1, you're really going to be learning a lot. You're going to be discovering a lot about yourself. Saturn's going to be bringing in those lessons. And it's going to make you realize that, you know, maybe you're not acting in accordance to how you really want to act, or you're not showing the sides of yourself that you really want to show. And so to the outside world, it might seem like you're changing and turning into a totally different person, but in reality, you're just becoming more of the real you, if that makes sense. So that's pile number 1, more specifically. Pile number 2, ooh, I don't think this is going to be a fun lesson, but we have you are good enough in the 8th house. Okay. And the 8th house is the house of Scorpio. It's kind of all about the occult. Psychic development actually is a part of it, but it's mostly about like very deep emotions. I feel like pile number 2, we're going to be going through it emotionally, and you might have to really like struggle with the fact of like, I am good enough. Like there's probably a lot of confidence issues going on, and there's something about diving deep into your emotions that's going to help ease this energy. That's kind of what this second card is really like using this energy to deal with the things that this transit is bringing you. And this transit is maybe going to make you question, you know, your own confidence, your own abilities. And so you might have to dive deep into your emotions and make you, you know, and understand that, you know, you have confidence and you are good enough. And, you know, whatever it is that's blocking you, we have to do the deep digging to figure out what that is so we can let it go and not let it keep affecting us. And then pile number 3. Ooh, the answers you need are coming. I'm hearing with pile number 3, it's just going to feel stagnant sometimes, a lot of the times. And it's going to make you mad because we have Mars energy here. I feel like there's this like action, this want to go, do. And because the more you push though, the less you're going to get like the answers you need. And I kind of feel like the information here is kind of the opposite of just like, you need to chill out. Don't be like Mars energy of go, push. Really, it's about receiving, just letting things be, letting time pass, understanding that you don't need to have the answers all the time 24/7. I think at pile number 3, you might be really affected by this whole like Pisces thing and not feeling like connected to your intuition. But the biggest like piece of advice there is like don't lean into aggressive action. You really need to lean into more of the receptive. I'm just going to enjoy myself until the answers come, if that makes sense. Until things get clear. Okay. Interesting. We'll see how the next couple years go. Let's find out. I'm excited. So, really quick, I am just going to go ahead and light this candle for us as we do the rest of these readings. Again, setting the intention that this is for this group, this collective, anyone that is watching live or replay. Where's my lighter? Oh, there it is. So again, this is our Pisces. We're going to say our intuition, our dreamlike state, our faith, our intuition, all of that, psychic abilities. We want it to remain strong. We are still going to try to connect to it as much as we can throughout the next couple of years. And again, the oil around this symbolizing that strength and balance. And remembering that we can always return to our inner self, our inner voice, our intuition to access whatever it is that we need at that time to work through any issues that we might be having. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and light this candle and just take like the next like 20 seconds to think about maybe how the next 2 years, how you want it to go and how you would like to remain strong as these lessons come through. You can just visualize this and visualize even just your aura feeling protected. You can also visualize some things that you want to release in the next 2 to 3 years, whatever you feel called to do. So I'm going to have, as you're watching this now, go ahead and place one hand over your heart. If you can, put the other hand over your solar plexus, just to kind of center yourself, center your energy. And I guess I'll just go ahead and do the same now. So let's go ahead and take 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Focusing on anything you want to release. Anything you want to keep strong. How you will handle lessons as they come in the next couple of years. Again, just continue to visualize this as I light this candle, holding this space for this group, setting the intention that we are going to be strong. And that we handle whatever Saturn throws at us with ease. Oh, you can't see this, but it's right here. Whoa, why do we get all fuzzy? Okay. Here is our beautiful candle. I'm just going to set it to the side over here and hopefully not blow it out. I'm going to let it burn in its entirety for this group. And what's cool too is I've got this Magic of Birthdays book, which I did a video on it, but it's like a Patreon only video. But it shows you how to read the candle wax as it melts. And I'll probably have to tell you guys what it ends up melting and basically the advice that it gives, because where the candle wax lands, it basically tells you where you need to focus on to make that intention really like work and be strong. So I shall let you know. Pile 2 chooses you. Lots of pile 2s. Whoa, that just like sizzled. All right. I think that's it. That's kind of the theme. That's the candle. That's a group message. Let's get into individual readings. I think Amanda donated, so I'm just gonna start there. I know I decided to do it like last minute, but I was like, tonight is such like a powerful astrological night. I just wanted to do something extra. Again, feel free to like go put out some full moon water tonight. Make it even more exciting for you. Listen to a meditation. I know that Dynasty Electric on YouTube, I freaking love their sound baths, and they do sound baths in accordance with like whatever's going on astrologically, which is really cool. Okay, so Amanda, I got your donation. Thank you. Let me know what your question is. I don't see it here. No. Do I see it? No, I don't see it. Okay. That's cool reading candle wax. Yeah, I think I talked about it in that birthday video, but I'll have to like include it sometime. You can always get that birthday book too. I love that birthday book a lot actually. Loved yes, Dynasty Electric, but I think it's electric with a K instead of a C. Oh, nice, Ashley. You're in New Zealand. That's awesome. I went to New Zealand in 2018 for a friend's wedding, and I spent like 2 weeks there. Ugh, it's a magical place. Freaking loved it. Okay. So sorry, y'all. So for whoever donates, so Amanda donated on Venmo. You can also donate through Super Chat. I do them first, and then when I'm done working through donations, we play guessing games to get like a free short reading. So I am gonna also set my member timer really quick. And this is when this timer goes off, anyone that's a member that comments closest to it, they get a free reading as well. Okay, so Amanda saw a black orb with her naked eye. She's curious about it. Okay. You know, it doesn't feel negative, and I know it's black, but black doesn't always mean negative. I'm not getting a sense of like needing like something bad. It's weird because I don't even feel like it's a person. I just feel like it was energy. Yes, thank you for being here, Lori. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm obsessed with this information. I'm just going to say what I'm getting, Amanda. I don't feel like it's negative. I feel like it's energy. And I feel like the reason it was black was like something, it's like, I feel like you're, I don't like to use the word portal, but like it almost feels like you're looking into another like space or energy or place that's not here. And I don't even think I believe in that, but that's what I'm getting. I keep looking at this candle. It's a very good meditative practice. I should do it more often, but I'm too cheap. Yeah, it's weird, Amanda, because I don't feel like it's a person. I kind of ask all my questions of like, is it negative? Is it a spirit? Is it this? Is it that? I just feel like the only word I could use to describe it is like a black hole, but I don't feel like it's a literal black hole, obviously. But it feels like you were just tuning into an energy. Was it in your physical space, or was it like you were imagining in your physical space? They're being really cryptic with this one. I heard like both and neither. Because sometimes we can like visualize energy, and it could be really far away from us, or sometimes it could literally be in our space. Um, like I could visualize your dog, for example, but obviously your dog is with you. Um, but the other thing that I am hearing, Amanda, is that it has something to do with like you opening up your abilities more. I don't know if you've set the intention to do that, but it feels like it's a product of you just becoming more open. Now, obviously, if you don't want it to happen, I feel like Amanda, we've talked before, you kind of know like what to do to get rid of it. I don't feel like it scared you. Well, maybe it scared you a little bit, just not knowing what it was. Um, but I don't feel like it's anything bad. You can tell me if I'm wrong, Amanda, and if you're like terrified and you're like, make it stop. Obviously, if you want it to stop, you tell it to stop. You tell your guides exactly how and when they're allowed to communicate with you. I'm just going to pull a card to see if we can get any more information about this. It's interesting because I just like pulled the strength card, Amanda. It's all well. Not scared, excited. Okay, then awesome. Yeah, I would take that all as validation if that resonates. Interesting. I just asked what it was, and I pulled the solar eclipse card. And that's really interesting because that's kind of how I'm seeing it. Was she like literally seeing a moon? Because I was seeing it as like a black hole. And it's almost, I think what I'm getting with this solar eclipse card is it's almost like, the energy of a solar eclipse. The moon comes in front of the sun and we can't see it, and all of a sudden it gets really dark and it's really scary. But we know that the sun's not actually gone. It's just this brief moment where it passes in front of each other. But in the olden days, everyone was like, oh my God, we're all going to die. But the energy of a solar eclipse can be very intense. I don't, honestly, intuitive hits can come through very abstract. And that's kind of like what I'm getting here, Amanda, is that it was just like a very abstract visual, and it might not have been something specific. I feel like it was symbolic of something else. I do feel like it's kind of like an invitation, or again, like when I think of a black hole, I think of portals, solar eclipses, like all of those words are actually kind of synonymous of like stepping into the dark but then coming out on the other side, and there actually being like life and light and lots and lots of things for you to open up to. So I kind of am seeing it as an invitation. Maybe that's what it is. Or maybe it's just that you saw energy in a very like non or I don't know what the word is, but it didn't have form, and that's not necessarily wrong. And it's weird too because it says you will get through to the other side. I just feel like, in a very like cryptic way, your guys are like somehow saying like this is you stepping into a new like level of your intuition and really seeing things from a much different perspective, and seeing a whole new version of life because of it. Alrighty. Thank you for donating, Amanda. I hope that resonates. That was really interesting, actually. All right. Okay. And I am love. Anything coming up for me? Yes, let's do it. Oh, let me just read these. Hang on. Just now, silly rabbit. I just wish I could get info when I see stuff. Yes, you can always ask, hey, guides, can you show me in another way? Can you give me a little bit more? I do feel like I described this really well in my masterclass series. I really like filled in the blanks of like where I didn't explain enough in my basic psychic skills course. And then unless you watch every single one of my YouTube videos, I think it's hard to get all of the information in one place. Interesting. Felt like a portal to me. I got the feeling. No, and I think, with clairvoyance, sometimes you can see it in your mind's eye, but then other times you can also see it very literal in your space. And again, I think in my clairvoyance video, I talked about how, like, there's some people that swear they can see it in their physical reality. And I really can't be like, no, you don't, because I don't know. And I truly believe that spirit works in very interesting ways sometimes. And I do think sometimes maybe that could happen. So I'm not going to be here saying no, that can never happen. However, it could just be your mind's eye was so strong that you felt like it was in your physical reality. Who knows? Oh, in the past I turned it off. Go to bed. That's funny. um Awesome. Okay. So welcome for those of you who are joining. I'm gonna read I Am Love really quick just because she donated. And then how readings work is you can send a donation, or you can once I catch up on donations, we play psychic games to get a free reading, possibly. So I Am Love. Anything coming up for me? I pulled like all of my astrology cards. I'm like trying really hard to not to like blow out this candle. The wick is leaning to the left a little bit, so I'm kind of feeling like we're definitely going to see some energy from our past come up. Which makes sense. That's what Saturn is. Saturn teaches the lessons we haven't been wanting to learn. All right. Love it. Okay. So I Am Love. I pulled the Miracles card for you. Have faith that your miracle is on its way. Your prayers have been answered. Surrender the how. What is this exactly that is coming up? Ooh, I'm so afraid to blow this out, but I want to shuffle these cards. What miracles exactly? I've always wanted an astrology deck, and now I finally have one. I knew that card was coming up. I saw it on the bottom. We have Psyche, which is technically, I guess, an asteroid. There's like a couple asteroids in here, but it includes the houses, all the planets, all the signs, own phases too, which is really cool. But Psyche, I know, is all about like romance, emotions, like being very like feminine. I would just like describe it as like romantic. Obviously, it doesn't always apply to romantic relationships, but it can be this like romance for life, like really feeling in love with life again. And with Psyche, like I'm really feeling like this is like a mental thing, like having rose-colored glasses, looking at the world through a new lens. And then with the 10th house, we just pulled the 10th house. What is it about? It's Sagittarius. I love this for you. I Am Love. Sagittarius, the 10th house is all about like being optimistic, like traveling, just being like very optimistic is like the best word I can use to describe like the 10th house. But it can be about travel as well, so you might see that come up. But really what I'm feeling, especially with this Psyche too, I should lift these up more, sorry, is that there's this optimism coming back. There's this like excitement, there's this zest for life, there's this romance coming up. And it feels like a miracle because maybe you've been asking for this, I Am Love. Any other things coming through? Scorpio. Oh, okay. And honestly, I feel like I Am Love, this is because you've done the work. You've dived into deep emotions, you've worked through that inner psyche, and because of that you've really done the work. And you're like, when I pulled this card, I saw this motion of it like branching out into this like pink energy of it being just like love towards yourself, towards other people. It's because you've grown and you've done the work like mentally. Overall though, it feels just like optimism, like your mental health is going to improve. You're feeling more optimistic. I just want to ask really quick why. Why is this changing? Why is this different? Maybe you've set the intentions to do this. Maybe you've been very much like, I'm going to do this because it says be bold and make the first move. Meditate and contemplate. Yeah, I feel like this is because you've done the work, literally. It's not anything more superstitious or like amazing or grand than that. You've just done the work. You've figured out what wasn't working. You've done the hard work through your emotions. You took that first move, and now you're going to see that mental health kind of like improving. Or maybe again, it's like travel, or it could be like a romantic relationship coming into your life as well. Whatever it is though that you've been praying for, like I feel like you probably have in the back of your mind like something that you're like, oh, I know what this is. It's gonna click. Yes, finally. Oh my gosh, I've been waiting for this. Because I feel like if you haven't set the intention for something, usually it doesn't like manifest always. Usually you kind of know, you know. Okay. Thank you, Amanda. It has been a challenge. I will say that. Don't do that because it was creeping me out. Thank you, Amanda. I think about that like weekly, about how long I've had this YouTube channel and how long I've been consistently uploading. And I think it was because my subscribers are going up a lot recently. Like I'm getting more per month. And it's not always like that. Some months you're just like struggling and all your numbers are down. And I just have to like remember to just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and just put it out, and it'll eventually get there. And I already feel like if this is like as big as my channel got, I'd be totally happy because it pays the bills, and that's really like all I want and need. But I love it when we have new faces. And I love creating content. I love making videos. Like when I go to Salem in September, you guys, I'm going to make a vlog about going to Salem, Massachusetts. Just you wait. I sure have been asking for it. I've been doing the work and will continue to. Awesome. I think it's a sign that you're definitely manifesting that. I am love. Starlyn, thank you so much for your donation. Let me know what your question is if you have one. And I will pull some cards. Hi from Oregon. Hi from Colorado. Welcome. Good night, Amanda. Thank you so much. Thank you, Karen. I've definitely like had to step it back. I can't do as many videos as I used to be able to do, but right now I'm so excited to get editing my course. I've been working on this course since last summer. It's such a hefty one, and I had to kind of space out filming it, space out editing it, and I'm very excited for my day-to-day to just be like making videos and doing readings, and that's it. But right now I'm having to also, like, as I make my weekly videos, I'm having to also edit this course. And my goal is to get it done before I get pregnant again. I'm like, I want to take a break from like celebrate the first super chat from Asclepius. Woohoo! Star, let me know what your question is, and I can jump back up to you anytime, unless it was just kind of like a donation and you didn't have a question. And then Asclepius, let me know if you have a question, and I also will give you a reading. I've watched majority of your videos on my spiritual journey. Oh, yay! Thank you. You are so clear and understanding, and I can't thank you enough. Oh, thanks, Ashley. I really appreciate that. I think, again, I've said this probably so many times across so many videos, but like I was very lucky to have learned in person and to have like a really cool in-person course where I learned from several psychics, and I had to practice on volunteers, like in person. I just had so many resources here in Colorado, and the way that I learned how to be psychic was just so supportive and amazing. And then when that course disappeared and people were like, how did you do that? Like, where did you go to school? And I'm like, well, I went here, but it's gone now. I've always spiritually felt this like extreme urge to like share this knowledge. And I know that not everyone around the world has access to the stuff that like this. And your intuition can be scary. These messages can be terrifying, and if you have no one in your court, telling you that you're normal and it's okay and here's how to handle it, it can be tough. And I think that's what keeps me going, and be a mom. Yes. And be a mom to one more. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Okay. Okay, so Starlyn donated next. I'm going to read her, and then Asclepius. I'm sure that's not how you say it, but let me know if you have a question. I'll get to you next. Oh, okay. I'm in the middle of a custody battle, and if you hear that, I promise I'm not like farting into the chair. This chair always squeaks. Whenever I film videos, I have to hold really still because it always squeaks. Okay, Starlyn, I'm in the middle of a custody battle and I have a court date coming up. I'm hoping it goes my way. Anything you could pull up because my custody case would be helpful. Yes, let's do it. I'm going to do past, present, future, and then just give you some advice. Not like this. For those of you just now joining, I've got a candle over here that we set an intention for. I'm trying not to blow it out. It's not a good or bad thing. Psst, this is what I want to name my girl. Lilith. Okay. So, Star, in the past with this whole process, you've had to be very analytical. You're checking all your or you're dotting all your I's, crossing all your T's. You've been having to be just, again, very analytical about the whole process, and you're being very thorough. You're making sure you're being really good about it. However, when Lilith comes in, it's this kind of, this is where you're at now, of like middle space of just like not knowing what's coming up next and falling prey to maybe some of your fears. However, what I freaking love about Lilith is that Lilith actually, in the biblical sense, I don't know if that's where she originally came from, but I know she's like literally an asteroid. So she's like, technically, like in astrology, you have Lilith somewhere in your chart. But Lilith is, I love her energy because in the biblical sense, technically, God made Lilith for Adam first, and Lilith was like, F this, I'm not sticking around for you. I'm going to bite this apple piece. So does she bite the apple? I don't know. I can't remember what she does with the apple, but she's basically like stick it to the man, F you. I'm not signing up for this. So she's a very rebellious like energy. She also can be equated with like being like a whore, which is kind of incorrect and like misinformation around that. But essentially what I'm trying to say here, Star, is this, even though it's scary and you're not seeing the good of it right now, the fact that I'm pulling Lilith for you right now, this to me is saying like you're going to get that retribution. You're going to get that revenge, for lack of a better term, because that's literally what Lilith is all about. And then in the future, I have Cancer. And this is all about like having a good cry about it, finally letting those emotions back in. I feel like you've had to very much shut them out because you're being very analytical. You're just trying to get through it. But then I feel like in the future, there is going to be a release. And so I was asking if that was like a positive or a negative thing. Oh, I'm not pregnant yet, Karen. No, not yet. Hopefully soon. I guess it's really not a secret, honestly. I've already told my family. We're like trying right now, but we're taking a break because right now, if I got pregnant, I'd have a Christmas baby. No way. No way. Not having a Christmas baby. So we're gonna try again here in like a month or so. No Christmas babies. Okay. So I just wanted to see, because emotions could be positive or negative. I don't know from these cards which way it's gonna go. But the advice here, though, Star, is to not let this like get in your way. Don't let pride get in your way. Don't go into it with like I'm gonna win, because I think that might hurt on the after side of like coming out of it, especially if you don't win. I kind of intuitively feel like it's gonna go your way. Like you might have to make some concessions, but I'm kind of getting that there's not a whole lot you should worry about. Just know the future can change and I can be wrong. I'm just double checking intuitively since I'm not really getting it with the cards. I do think there is a reason to have hope though, Star. Did you have another question though? Hoping it goes your way. I mean, the fact that we have Lilith here and the Virgo, that to me says like you did the work on paper. You have the right energy coming into this, and it's just kind of like if you win or if you don't win, it's gonna just know that there's gonna be some emotions on the other side of it. And I do feel like I think why they're like withholding the information of it's gonna go your way is because they don't want you to get too like hot for your pants and like go in with like an attitude and therefore like maybe screw it up. Does that make sense? One more card, sorry. Anything else she's missing? She should know about this. Lighten up. I'm honestly taking that as a good sign. Lighten up. Fall into those emotions if you need to. Take a deep breath. Take care of yourself. I think you've just been too tight and too worried about this, and because of that, it's just not serving you, obviously. It's a stressful situation. But the fact that I'm getting lightened up, I feel like it's an okay sign. You know what I mean? Karen, that's so funny. Okay. Thank you, Gemello. Okay. Asclepius, are you still here? Do you have a question? I have very rebellious energy. Heck, maybe it's even that Lilith is here to like help you. She's like literally an astrological thing. She's a thing in biblical stories, but I do think she's also like a goddess, like a guide. Very mature. I've just had so many people in my family have Christmas babies, and I see how hard it is for them. And I know so many people that with Christmas birthdays, and they always talk about how their birthday sucks because it has to get combined with Christmas, and I'm just like, let's save myself the money. I'm very willing to work with my dad. It totally makes sense. I do need to check my attitude. Yes, lighten up. I agree. You're welcome, Star. Awesome. Asclepius, let me know if you have a question. Thanks for your donation, Star. I haven't been keeping track of how many readings we've been doing. My member timer is almost up, though. See? Even Wendy knows. I read my whole birth chart. In conclusion, my ascendant is in Scorpio. That's what you've been doing this whole time. Love it. Does that mean you're a Scorpio sun and rising, silly rabbit? Because that's awesome. The trickster energy in essays guides choice? I'm not following. Seeing me? Oh, Oh, I'm worried, Asclepius. I'm not going to understand. Can't type. LOL. Well, no rush, Asclepius. Whenever you get your question out, I can pause and come back to you. So your Sagittarius moon and a Scorpio sun and a Scorpio rising. Interesting. So fun times. I'm so confused. I'm confused too about what Asclepius is trying to say. So yeah, Silly Rabbit, I think then it's still the same. So Scorpio 5th house. So it's going to be about pleasure. Pleasure. You can just look up the 5th house and understand that your 5th house is basically going to be highlighted for the next 2 or 3 years, and that there's going to be some lessons there because that's what Saturn is all about. Lauren's so calm on camera. I've been doing this for ages. Probably too calm, you know. Certainly don't show up and do my hair anymore. I'm just kind of like, okay, this is it. This is tonight. Autocorrect got me. Thank you, Butterfly Totem. Oh, thank you, Bob. Okay. I'm going to do Butterfly Totem and then Bob. Again, if Asclepius gets me their question, I will jump back to you because Asclepius was technically first. Okay. Question is about my new friend. Ooh, Noe. Can I trust going on a summer work adventure with him? Could it be good for my health? Let's see. It feels like one of those like half and half things, Butterfly Totem. It's like it's good for certain reasons and then it's not good for other reasons. What are those reasons? Like I feel like he's just gonna frustrate you for some reason. I don't know if it's about like his plans, like his planning, or like I feel like it's gonna be like irritating. Oh, pause really quick. That was my member timer. So Karen, you commented closest. So Karen, you also get a free reading tonight. So throw in your question as well if you have one. But yeah, I do that every night. I set a timer. Anyone that's a member, so they look green and they have the little owl next to them, they can get a chance at a reading. Oh, it's sizzling and cracking over here now. Whoa, it's going crazy. What does it mean? What? Sorry, I'm very distracted. Oh, it's all that oil. I put a lot of oil on the side. I think that's why it's sizzling. Anyways, so yeah, I was gonna see what were the downsides to traveling with him really quick, and then like the upsides. Yeah, downsides. He's not good on his priorities. Like I feel like you're gonna be like irritated and maybe wanting to do other things, and he's just not on the same page as you. But on the positive side, I have a last quarter moon in Virgo. Attend to the details. There is something about this, like very practically, and you know, with health that makes sense because this is Virgo, which is all about like health and routines. I do feel like if you look at it very much like I have my plan and this is what I want to do and this is my plan of attack, and I'm gonna make sure I get that in even if he's not like on board. I feel like it actually will be productive. You just might have to let go of the fact that he might just not be on the same page as like wanting to do the same things as you. And the card that I originally pulled, sorry if I didn't lift this up, was polarity. And really I just saw this, like I just heard half and half, like half good, half bad. Yeah, and I'm just kind of getting that it's because you guys don't really know how to work with each other yet and like what your personalities are like, that it's just like you're trying to figure out like how to navigate that, you know? But as far as good for your health, let me just ask one more. Pallas Athena. I should have taken out the asteroids because I don't have the asteroids memorized. Hang on. Pallas Athena. What was this one about? It's weird because it's almost the exact same meaning of like make a plan, weigh the pros and cons, write down things, like be very like analytical about it, which is like what I would see as a Virgo. So I think if you want it to be good for your health, there's something about like having to plan for that and making sure it would be. I'm not sure exactly what that looks like, but I feel like like what works for you and what doesn't. But I feel like don't fall into like feeling like you have to follow your friend around for everything, because that's where it might get like, they're trying to control the whole itinerary and then you're just like not getting what you need. So I think as long as you feel comfortable being like, hey, I'm going to do my own thing tonight, let's just meet up tomorrow or something. So it's kind of like half and half butterfly totem. I think you're going to have to just like write it down, get very analytical about this, and really like decide if like, do I want this? Can I handle it? And I think you can. It's just like, do you want to? Okay. All right. Thank you, Bob. What does your next 6 months like? Anything good or bad will be appreciated. Okay. It's my mom. Oh, were you saying that for the candle? Awesome. Okay, so Bob, I know you donated, but Asclepius technically donated like forever ago. He's just been struggling to get a question out. So I'm gonna do Asclepius really quick, and then I will be back to you. I won't forget, Bob. All right. So you just want anything, basically. You're looking for a reading. Okay, cool. We'll just keep it open and see what you need to know. Virgo, Sun, Leo, Moon in the 12th. Aquarius in your 6th. Okay. Virgo ascending. So you're a Virgo Sun and ascending? Lots of Virgo. Okay. I don't want this stuff though. Oh. Okay. We might actually get to the end of this candle. It's probably about halfway through now. Okay. What does this Asclepius need to know right now? I'm hearing something about 2 different decisions. I just pulled Venus and Taurus. And I'm not reading these like astrologically. I'm just kind of thinking of the energy and reading them intuitively. So like when I think of Venus, I think of like pleasure, love, excitement. It can be again like looking at things in a very like romantic way, having like a zest for life. And then we have Taurus, which to me is kind of like Tauruses are all about like honestly like pleasuring themselves, very much focus on like fancy things, being comfortable, like Tauruses are always like the rich, not the richest, but like they love surrounding themselves with luxury. And so when I have Venus and Taurus here, I know I heard making a decision, but I do feel like these are together. And I feel like they're actually encouraging you to lean more into this energy, Asclepius, of like, what makes me happy? What gives me pleasure? Like, what little luxuries in life can I give myself that, like, I just feel like you're not one to go out of your way to spend for things on yourself. Let me just get some advice cards too. What? It doesn't make any sense. I have nothing will come of this situation and adjustments are required. Am I reading this wrong? I just heard yes. Sorry. Maybe I don't feel like you overdo it though. I don't feel like you like splurge on all the things that make you happy. Because I feel like that's literally what this is saying. I see. Okay. I think what they say is it's kind of like I think it was like a balance between these two energies, not so much a decision, but like Venus is all about pleasure. And then I would say like Taurus in this sense is very much like material, pleasure. And I think you have to make sure you're finding a balance. You're not leaning totally into like buying things 24/7. Again, this is more of an example, Asclepius. I don't feel like you're literally doing this. But it's like looking for pleasure in the wrong places. And I feel like they're encouraging you, Asclepius, to really like ask yourself, what brings me joy? What gives me excitement? What fills up my cup? What makes me feel like I'm having those little luxurious moments every single day, and sometimes I think we find that in the wrong places. Like maybe we have drinks every night, to fill us up and make us feel like we're happy. Maybe we do, overspend or self-sabotage in some sort of way. But for some reason, though, what you're doing isn't quite working. And I think your guides want you to come back to the base of this, of like what really makes you happy in these moments. Like, do you actually want to grab that like glass of whiskey at the end of the night or play video games, for example? Or is it that you really, want to take a bath and like meditate and you're just not giving yourself that? Or, maybe you're filling up your schedule. Like this just feels like self-sabotage in a lot of ways, like finding pleasure in things that are really not what you actually want. Like again, maybe it's that you filled up your schedule and really what you're dying for is just some rest and you're not giving that to yourself. So there's something that is just not working here in the way that you're seeking pleasure or the things you're seeking pleasure in. I just feel like they're not always in alignment with it, what actually brings you joy. I hope this is making sense. Maybe this is very like repetitive behaviors. I mean, I guess you have a lot of Virgo in your sign, and Virgos tend to be very like routine oriented and needing to like do the same things over and over again. Sometimes they even struggle with that. But I pulled the imagination card, and it says, because I asked like, give me a one card for all of this to like sum it up a lot better. And this says like, envision a new reality. Give yourself permission to dream. Believe in unlimited possibilities. To me, this is saying that how you look at your life right now is very much like, oh, I can't get out of this. I have to keep doing this. And I think your guides are trying to say like, hey, no, there's something here. You can get to the core of it and really ask yourself, do I want to keep doing this? Am I actually doing this because I want to do this? Is there something else I would rather be doing? Like really going back to like what makes you happy and not, leaning into, again, material is maybe not exactly what it is, but it's leaning into the false like pleasure, if that makes sense. And I think it's a lot because you can't imagine what it would be like to change it up, that maybe I could, enjoy the night without a glass of wine, or I could enjoy sitting in silence even though I'm cramming my schedule completely full. I feel like I'm not getting one specific thing because you tend to put this in a lot of like different places in your life. I hope that makes sense. Thank you, Asclepius. Okay, so let me jump back up to Bob really quick. Bob, thank you for your donation. And then we have Karen. Right? Yeah. Bob and then Karen. Karen, if you have a question, I don't think you threw one up yet. Okay. Bob, what is your next 6 months like? Anything good or bad? What I'll do, I have an idea. Okay. What I'm going to do, Bob, is just pull 3 cards. 2 months, 2 months, 2 months. Just to get the overall energy. And then I'll pull 1 card on just like advice, how to handle that energy. So I think even with that few cards, you can really get a good snapshot of what's coming up. Ooh, and we're pulling all houses. Oh, funsies. Okay. So Bob, the next 2 months, you're focusing on your 6th house. This is Virgo. Virgo, again, is all about routines. It's about your health. It's about putting in good habits. Are you like keeping those healthy, good habits? Tonight is the full moon in Virgo. It might be a really good time to like set those intentions. So there might be a little bit of like an up down struggle, and I feel like you're just trying to get back into like a routine. And really, I feel like when you understand that, when you like prioritize that, you're able to conquer a lot more. And then the 2 months following that, we have the 8th house. And the 8th house is the house of Scorpio. It's very much like going inwards, being a hermit, not wanting to share your emotions. It can also be about psychic and occulty things. So maybe you're kind of like getting more into your intuition. 8th house. I feel like it's a little bit more of like withdrawal from society. Like that's what I'm kind of hearing. Scorpios are very like private and reserved with their emotions. And so you might be going very inwards on those emotions. And then the last 2 months that we have, bringing you up to 6 months, I have Saturn. So I think by then you're going to be really feeling the effects of this Saturn transit. So maybe in those last 2 months, you can kind of look up what Saturn does. If you forget, but essentially like Saturn is the lesson bringer. Wherever it goes, it brings lessons. So you might have to look into your personal chart and where Saturn is sitting, like what sign it's in at the current moment, and you might have to really look at it and say, okay, what lessons are you teaching me around this? And if you know your rising sign, Bob, I could probably tell you which house it's going to be in for you the next couple of years. But it's basically going to be there for the next 3 years. Okay, so overall advice for Bob. Actually, I'm going to ask you really quick. Anything good and anything bad? What's coming that's good? You're really getting in touch with your real self. I feel like you're really understanding who you are, who you want to be, and making sure that that's reflected back at everyone accurately. I almost wonder if you're going through a Saturn return, Bob, like your second one. Maybe things that aren't so good in the next 6 months. You might have a harder time seeing the bigger picture, seeing where things are going next. Like, what's the overall plan here? What am I leading to? You might have that lack of like vision into the future. And that might be a little bit like rocky. And my advice there would be just, keep sticking to it and trust that, as long as your intentions are good and you're consistent, that eventually you will see some things come to fruition more. And you will start to see what's coming up next. Anything else for Bob? Any last piece of advice? Patience in the next 6 months. This makes sense to me because I feel like you might be struggling a little bit to like just get yourself into a routine, take care of yourself, and then with the 8th house, you might feel a little off emotionally, and then Saturn's going to come in to kind of teach you some big lessons. I don't think any of this has to be bad. It's here to teach you about yourself and the lessons that you need to learn. And I feel like that big lesson for you might be patience, and you might not always see the bigger picture, and that's okay. And I feel like if you allow yourself to not always know that bigger picture, I think the next 6 months will be a lot easier. And as long as you kind of lean into the energy of patience a little bit more and trust that divine timing will work out, is what it says here, I think it's going to be a lot easier of a 6 months than if you're just like fighting it, if that makes sense. So thank you, Bob, for the donation. I would say, like, overall, to sum that up, I feel like you're getting your physical body into place, you're getting your emotional body into place so that you can learn some good lessons. But one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning, Saturn doesn't bring lessons just to F up your life. Like, it does it to help you. It's lessons that you need to learn, and you always come out the other side a changed person, much like better. So it's not always just like chaos for chaos's sake, you know? That actually makes a lot of sense. We've been speaking about this. I forgot what we were talking about. Okay, so Karen was our group reading, or sorry, our member. And Karen wants to know, at your monthly art fair, there were a ton of dogs. So now I'm switching gears and to get folks into my booth to buy a painting. I'm going to draw dog characters. Kind of excited. It's lighter. Any feedback? That's so funny, Karen. I actually feel really good about that. And I'm literally imagining a fair that I went to where the only thing I wanted to buy there was a dog caricature. It was like a woman who drew people's dogs. Yeah, and I'm still checking if that's intuitive. I still feel like it's a pretty good idea. Let me just like pull. That's not the right card. Hang on. Because I feel like I vaguely remember the advice. Was it in our member live of your guides being like, have something else that they can buy that, you know, maybe they wouldn't buy your artwork, but they would buy something else. Like, I think I was talking about like a sticker. So I think that's like exactly, you came up with such a great idea. Yeah, I feel like it's only good. So I said, like, what's the good sides about this? Like, ground yourself, nature. I don't know how you are. Or no, you said you did like characters at Disney, right? But for some reason I was also seeing like drawing people too. I mean, I'm sure that's a lot harder. But like it's like a yes and I wonder if like if you've ever thought about like drawing people's auras, not that that's necessarily up your alley, but there's something about like I feel like it's like literally the visual of this card, but I'm not sure how that resonates. Maybe it's just like putting those pets in nature. I don't know. Maybe it's because the woman I saw, it could be that this is also the message. The woman I saw specifically drew pets that had passed. Not saying you have to like limit it to that. Oh, I don't know why this is coming in so choppy, but I also wonder if it's that you could add extra details to the picture and charge more. And I asked if there was like a bad thing to it. And I don't think that there's a bad side to it at all. And even if there is, it's going to make you stronger as like a business person, you know, as an artist, you're already great at that. But I feel like as a business person, you're going to come out of it being like, oh, okay, I know what people want. I know what can get people in the door. And let me just ask if there's anything we're missing about this. I just pulled the answers you need are coming. So honestly, Karen, what I'm getting is maybe just try it out for one fair and see how it works. And then if you feel like you got your answer of like, yeah, okay, that didn't work, then you can throw it in the trash. Or if it's like all of a sudden you get like a resounding like, oh my gosh, yes. Then you probably have your answer. I just pulled a have faith in your dreams as well. I think it's a pretty good bet. I mean, just thinking about it like logically as Lauren, to me, I'm like, if I am like, wow, that's cool artwork, but I don't think it's going to fit in with the rest of the artwork at my house, and I don't have that much money, but you drew just like a little bust up of my dog and that you charged $20 for it, I would be very likely to like stop and purchase it anyway, you know? I have to really practice. I have pre-printed paper of the tourist town. That's awesome. Don't forget to put your crystals out. Yep. You're welcome, Miss Clepius. Alrighty, guys. Let's do 2 more free readings because we've caught up on donations. And I know some of you have been waiting. So let's do, I am thinking of a color, game time. I'm thinking of a color. If you can guess the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the next reading. We'll do this for 2 folks, and then we'll go ahead and cut it off for the night. And if you really want a reading after that, you can send a donation. We can wrap up with those. You're welcome, Karen. I don't have any bad feelings about it. I hope that's not wrong. Black, Silly Rabbit, you got it. Silly Rabbit, let me know what your question is. And you know what? We're just going to jump into the next guessing game. So then, if y'all don't want to, you don't have to wait. Let's. I'm thinking of. What is that called? Okay, I know what it's called. I'm thinking of a vegetable. If you can guess the vegetable that I'm thinking of, then you'll get the reading after Silly Rabbit. Black. Good guesses. I'm thinking of a vegetable. Putting it out there. Vegetable. This flame is very, very large. As much as I was talking about this Saturn and Pisces being a big, like, scary thing, I kind of feel like it's actually going to be a good thing. And I kind of am getting that same energy from this candle. I feel like it's a pretty strong but fast burning candle. Maybe the next couple years will also feel a little bit fast. Nobody's gotten it yet. Vegetable. I'm thinking of a vegetable. I had this vegetable with Buffalo Wild Wings the other night. Freaking love Buffalo Wild Wings. I would eat there like every day if I could, but they're expensive. I'm hungry right now too. That's why I'm thinking of it. Celery! Asclepius, you got it. So even though Asclepius already donated, I allow for 1 donation and 1 free reading if you happen to guess it. So I'm going to read Silly Rabbit and then Asclepius, and then we'll cut it off there for free readings. And so if you're dying for a reading, go ahead and send your donation because we're going to wrap it up after that. And yeah, we'll end it after those 2. So after that, donations only. Okay. A message from my guides. What do they want me to know to help me make my next move or bring me peace? Okay. Feeling drawn to my astrology cards. I keep seeing so many signs. It's ridiculous. Yes. They always give you celery and carrots. And I always get, my favorite are Asian Zing because they're kind of spicy, but they're kind of sweet. Oh, they're so good. I'm just going to make myself so hungry. But celery is good when it's spicy. Silly Rabbit. I'm going to answer your... I'm going to do 3 cards. Message from your guides. What do they want you to know to help you make your next move? Ooh, and this one is bring you peace. Because those are 3 different things. Full moon, waning gibbous moon, and 9th house. Full moon. Silly Rabbit. So first, just general message. What's going on right now, it might be a little bit of an effect of the full moon, or even if you don't think that the moon phases really affect anything, it's kind of like what's going on right now is a little chaotic, and it's not always going to be like that. It goes through cycles. And the full moon is all about understanding that emotions can be high, there can be more conflict, things can be more stressful, but understanding that it's a cycle, it's a phase. It's there to help you recognize what needs to be released, and it doesn't, it's not always going to be that way. And then as far as what do they want you to know to help you make your next move, waning gibbous moon. This is a waxing moon. So you're building up to a full moon with this one, which is usually about setting your intentions and going really hard on them. So as far as making your next move, as far as like this in relation to a moon phase, it's like you've already set your intention, and now what you're going to do is show the universe you're serious by just keep going at it. Keep going at it. You've already set your intention. To me, this is like they understand, they know what you want. But you don't need to like worry about like resetting things or starting over or having a completely new and different plan. It's more just about, like, we've talked about it several times tonight, of like being consistent. It's like me with my YouTube channel. Like, sometimes I don't see the progress. Sometimes, I don't see the end goal or how many people I'm going to get subscribed, but I just keep showing up and uploading after years and years and years, in the hope, that it will, catch on eventually. And so that's like the energy that you're at right now, is like, if you want to make your next move, just keep working towards it. Because the waning moon, this says waning. I just read it as waxing. Shit. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. Hang on. I was looking at the picture and trying to guess what it was, and I thought it was a waxing moon, and then I read it wrong. Oh yeah, because it's that side. Duh, waning. Okay. And I did hear that, like, I didn't hear them respond to me. I just saw them roll their eyes, so I think I am wrong. Unless, Silly Rabbit, trust your intuition here. If you felt like what I was just saying was resonated, go with that. But a waning moon is on the other side of the full moon, right? And that actually makes more sense of like this energy of when we're on the other side of a full moon, like literally tonight. Now we can just relax. Before a waning moon, before a full moon, we have to show the universe we're serious, I'm doing XYZ, I'm moving forward on this intention. And then once the full moon hits, between the full moon and the next new moon, you just let go. You release, you don't worry about it. You just, say, I did what I did, and now I'm just going to relax. And that's kind of the cycle that you're in now. So as far as you making your next move, it's kind of this energy of just relaxing, and you're going to find out pretty soon enough if like what you've been doing is getting you on the right track or not. And I feel like this is kind of a message of like, literally, this is the waning period that we're now about to go into. So maybe within the next 2 weeks, if you feel like it's not coming to fruition, maybe at the new moon, you can re-sow those seeds and reset that intention. Let me just pull an additional card, though. Is there anything she needs to do to make her next move? Yeah, I don't feel like you need to do anything. I just wanted to double check because I threw myself off by reading that incorrectly. I don't think you need to do anything. And again, if it comes to nothing and you feel like, all right, I'm not moving forward or I'm not progressing, maybe it's because we need to start over, if that makes sense. Set a new intention, actually make that move that you want to do. Sorry if that's confusing. I think I kind of screwed that one up. And then bring you peace. I pulled the 9th house. Which one is the 9th house again? Scorpio, Sagittarius. We pulled a lot of Sagittarius tonight. Sagittarius is about optimism. It's about travel. It's about trying to find the silver lining in things. It's about trying to see the bigger picture. So I feel like to bring you peace, you might need to suck yourself out of that a little bit and try to look for the good things. Try to focus on what has gone well for you. Focus on how can I get myself feeling optimistic even when I don't feel so optimistic. Heck, maybe it's even like a quick trip somewhere to like get the juices flowing. Overall, though, Silly Rabbit, kind of what I'm hearing with all of this energy is that, like, don't worry about pushing anything harder right now. I feel like things are a little stressful and it's all going to kind of like dissipate and you're going to see where things lie. And then you're going to know if it's time to make your next move, if it's time to start over. And really, right now, taking care of yourself and finding that optimism again. That's what's going to bring you peace, is finding that inner optimistic voice. I think you're seeing so many signs because it's like you're on the right track, but your guides are also like, don't change it up. You're okay. Just let it be. Chill out. Take care of yourself while we do the rest. Numbers 333, excessively. Birds. And I wonder if 333 for you might be something along the lines of just like, just leave it for a bit. Like you've done the work. Don't change it up. Like I'm kind of getting this message of like, we can't make things happen like this, so just you have to wait and don't change it up, if that makes sense. Because I feel like the minute you change it up, then your guides have to play catch up, if that makes sense. That's not always the case. It's just like specifically for Silly Rabbit. Like a bunny digging a hole. Oh, that's awesome, Ashley. I haven't even seen the full moon yet because I came in here before it was up. So I'm going to go sit with it and fill up my water here in a second. No, LOL. Do you have another question, Asclepius? Positive reframing. Yes. That's maybe I should start using that. All right. So I'm going to just hang around for a second to see if Asclepius. I'm sorry, I can't say that word, so I'm just making it silly. Sound silly. Okay, and you do have that question. And again, if anyone else wants a reading before this night is up, let me know. Send a donation, and we will get you at the end of this. What sorts and kinds of readings should I focus on, including energy work? The way you read reminds me of myself. Well, what sorts of reading? I feel like I should have my psychic development deck out. Let's see. I know this like doesn't answer your question, but I feel like my guides are like telling you to like watch more of my videos, because not to just like watch more of my videos, but you'll get an idea of like who you want to be and how you want those readings to look. Because I feel like you might be like me in a little bit that you like mash them up. Like you might take little bits from over here, little bits from over here. I don't think any of these cards are really going to help me tune into exactly like what type of readings you can do. But literally, Asclepius, I do have a whole video on like all the different types of psychic readers there are out there. And I go through them all. And I think that's the thing, is I'm hearing that you're just going to mishmash them up. Because like right now, I'm doing a combination of psychic reading as well as using tarot cards. But I'm also talking about like astrology. I'm doing like a little bit of everything. And I'm kind of hearing that you might lean into astrology purely because there's an interest there. I was seeing like shamanic journeying, but I don't feel like you would be called to that. Like I feel like you would be called to it from like an astral traveling sense of the name, if that makes sense. But it's interesting because the cards that I pulled for you is hope. And I feel like they're bringing up more the like, what's your intention? If you're going to do readings and if you're going to like focus on the energy work, sometimes if we don't know what we want to do, it's because we don't know the purpose behind why we're doing it. And so maybe your purpose is to provide hope for other people or for yourself. And, you know, sometimes just having that why or that like purpose behind it will give you an anchor into like, okay, well, if my goal is to give people hope, then I know that this will resonate with it and this will not resonate with that. I'm just asking if there's any more specifics on like stuff here. I feel like you're, I don't want to say you're new to it because like I feel like you're pretty aware of things like naturally, like you have a natural proclivity to some of this stuff. Like I feel like you've done it in like a past life kind of energy, so it's not super new to you, but it like kind of is in this life. So things you're already kind of good at. And I just pulled Ceres, which is an asteroid that I don't remember. The mother, nurturing, abundance, unconditional love. And then the waxing gibbous moon, which I'm honestly hearing is just, again, like astrology or like working with the moon. You could also, I would say this is like doing moon rituals, like tonight working with moon to manifest whatever it is you're trying to manifest. And then maybe teaching other people about these things. Like one service that I offer that it's only in person is I do like full moon circles where I lead people through intention setting. It's been a while since I've done one in person, but I do offer that. And I kind of teach people about the moon, what it's doing, how we can work with it. So maybe that's like something you could incorporate in here. Honestly, though, I feel like I'm not getting anything specific because your guides are like, you're so open to everything and you're just kind of discovering all of these things that you could do. So they don't want to be like, no, you could only do this. They really want you to explore and find like what gets you excited and kind of like mesh them together again. I will say though, from a personal perspective, I do think it's helpful to understand your clairs and your psychic ability as like your base, and then bring all these other modalities in alongside of it. But I think it's helpful to understand your clairs because then you can answer any question intuitively and you don't need like outside tools. This is actually a video that's coming up here soon. But yes, that's just personal opinion, not psychic related. You'll send a picture of your crystal in the moonlight. Nice. Alrighty, friends. I think that's it for tonight. I am just like zonked out. That like zapped my energy. Discernment is key. Yes. Okay, cool. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I think we're going to wrap it up here. So, video coming out this week. Patreon members, you're going to have early access to it. But this week's video is all about how to have confidence reading people in person. So that's like a huge one for people who are learning, people who are practicing, and who really want to like learn how to read people in person. It can be scary. So that is like the video that's coming up this week. What is my video coming up the week after? Don't I have it like written down somewhere? Hang on. Nope, I don't have it written down. It's in my other journal. There's more videos coming. That's all you need to know. And I'm filming more videos next week. And I feel very like in alignment with the content that I'm putting out right now. And so I'm really excited to share some of this stuff with you all. Like, I'm sure, I don't know if I can say this on live, but one video idea I have the whole idea. It's like a very clear message that I'm getting across, but I don't know the title for it. And what I really want the title to be is like how to have more balls as a psychic, but I know I probably can't do that on YouTube. Like I don't want it to like hit me or anything, but that's like the energy of one of the videos that I've got coming up of like how to tell clients when they're being ridiculous or like when they're overstepping boundaries. Like how do you have the confidence to like tell them what they need to hear, you know what I mean? So that's a video that's coming up that I'm going to film. I'm also going to do a pick a card this next like round of filming of how to receive more psychic hits. That's all I can remember at the current moment. So yeah, thank you all for being here. Remember, again, you can follow me on Facebook. We have a Facebook group for psychic development, so you can connect with each other. Again, psychic development practice night is next Tuesday. So if you want to practice reading other people in person, via video. I get you in rooms and I send you into breakout rooms and you can practice reading other people. I think it's super helpful, especially if you don't have a community of people where you can actually practice on. And yes, I'm also on Instagram. Karen. And you can also sign up for my newsletter. I make sure in my newsletters to like give you a breakdown of everything that's coming up in the next month, events wise. Also give you all my new content in case you might have missed something. And I need to make a new podcast. It's been a while. I just like haven't decided what I wanted to make it on. But yeah. Anyways, you can always join Patreon. A lot of us are over there. There's a lot of extra content, early access to videos, Q&A videos. We also have monthly pick-a-card readings. Again, the psychic development practice nights, member-only live nights. Your name gets in the credit of my videos. There's all sorts of extra perks there. And I also am available for private readings at any time. You can always go on my website and book those with me. But yeah, I will see you next time here on YouTube on April 4th. So thank you for, I come back and I see Karen's comment. Schutzpah instead of balls. Yeah, I think I'm gonna title it maybe like how to tell people what they need to hear as a psychic. I don't know. I'm gonna have to make it very clear in the thumbnail and like in the title of like what it's about. I'm having a hard time naming that one because that's what I would like to name it. Anyways, alrighty, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Have a fantastic full moon. Go set your crystals out. Go get some moon water. Go meditate. Go listen to a sound bath. Whatever it is you want to do. And I will see you next time. Alrighty, bye.